be with your family, and Netflix doesn't count. So I want to share this story. If you guys followed a little bit of Facebook, Instagram, my wife, she actually was in the hospital for over a week, just last week actually, had a near fatal infection. She's out, she's okay, she's all good. But I want to share this. I did a live yesterday, and it was about like 3 things that you can help with depression that you can do today. And the last one was family, being with your family. And when I say be with your family, Netflix doesn't count. It's such an important thing, because you can be in the same room with your partner, with your kids, but if you're on your phone, checking out business, checking out the Instagram, the Facebooks, the YouTubes and stuff, you're actually not being there, even if you're there. And I'm talking about this not only you're checking your phone every once in a while, but having deep, meaningful conversations. So if you know me or have heard any of my story from the past, I want to share this. Like my father, he died of AIDS back when I was 16 years old, and when between the ages of 11 and 16, he lived his bucket list. He took us, my brother, my sister, traveling all around the world. And it was such a critical factor, because you didn't know if he was going to live 6 months, a year, 2 years. And we don't know. Like, for instance, when my wife, she was like having a problem. So, and this is not just about my wife going to the hospital, but the point behind this is life is so precious. And you absolutely do not know when your day, your spouse, your kids' last day may be. And I think we take it for granted that we're invincible, and that you can always go do something, or I'll be there, and saying, hey, go out and hug your child, tell your loved one that you love one. It's so true, man. It's so precious. And for example, my wife, she was like not feeling too good on a Tuesday night, and she was feeling all right. It wasn't like a big thing. And then Wednesday, she's like, man, I got something wrong. And I'm like having read, and I'm like, maybe we should go check the doctor. And when we went to the hospital, it was one of those moments that you're like, let's get it fixed up and we'll get out of here in a day. And then, no, you're gonna have to stay overnight. And overnight, this infection really grew, and had to have an emergency surgery. And it went from everything's all right within 24 hours, like, oh my God, if you didn't get in here in time, you'd likely be dead. Now, I'm sharing this on an extreme because it actually just happened last week. And she's out, she's doing fine, so this is not about that. My point behind this is that you don't know when your life may be last, your loved ones, and take it for real. Like, the time that you spend has to be real time. I'm gonna give you an example. So, and my wife, she's a warrior. My daughter, she's a warrior too. And so even though she just got out of the hospital, it was actually on Tuesday. They had there was a new moon ceremony for Women's Circle, and my wife and my daughter, we are so connected with our relationship. After 23 years of being together with my wife, I can honestly say right now that I'm more in love with her and more connected with my wife than ever. And I'm sharing this because we always have room to grow and get better as who we are as individuals and human beings. And one of the biggest things is that even after 23 years and living a good life, and we love each other and we've been traveling all around the world, can there always be something bigger and deeper? And we've been exploring that, doing a lot of work for ourselves individually, and then work on a relationship. And nothing has ever been bad. And I'm just sharing that. But is it great? It's kind of like the book From Good to Great. And, the whole philosophy, like, things can be life is good, but is life great? And one of the things that I've really wanted to work on this last year, especially when coronavirus, lockdowns, we haven't left Bali, we haven't left Indonesia since March of last year. And I'm like, if I'm going to be spending all this time with my wife and my daughter, and you're in lockdowns and stuff, I better have the best relationship, Because you can make all the money in the world that you want to make. And I've had a lot of money, and I've lost a lot of money. And it's never about the amount of money you have, ever. It's about the deep, meaningful relationships that you have with your loved ones. So this is near and dear to my heart, man. It's the last night, so they went away for a New Moon Women's Circle. My wife and my daughter, they're so powerful. I love them. Beautiful human beings, and for women, it's magical. I truly, truly love them so much. They got home last night after 48 hours and got here just for sunset, and it's dropping the phones, and it's really just being with them. We're not looking at our phones or doing anything, but I want to share a moment though. What got the best of me, because we're all human beings. And I have a lot of stuff going on with business that we have. We have a branding agency. I have my beard company. We have many employees. There's no finish line to what we're doing in life. And I had to get something out last night. And I went downstairs. Check this out. So I went downstairs and to go get something. And my wife's finally, after 10 minutes, honey, where are you? And I was replying to this work thing that I've been working on all weekend while they're gone. And I came up and I was not going to say anything. And she's like, well, what were you doing? And I'm like, and I started talking about this business. And my emotions started getting to me. And I'm like, my gosh, even all the work that I do and all the work that we do, emotions and situations in life can get the better of you. And it actually took us out of that bond that we created and sharing the stories that they experienced over the weekend. The beautiful thing is that we could identify it and actually, you're right. I just have to business will get done tomorrow. It's Sunday night here in Bali. Rome isn't burning. That's a saying that we have. Is Rome burning down? Well, if Rome isn't burning down, then screw it. I'm not saying screw everything, but really the most precious moments is the times, the bonding moments that you're having with your loved ones. And so that experience also with my wife and my daughter being able to go to this women's circle, it was magical. It'll be a moment of their life, an experience that they will be able to share as a mother and daughter forever. And one of the things that I've made it as a priority in my life this last year, we used to travel, so we've been traveling for over 13 years, but now with Corona, we haven't left Indonesia, and this is our home right now. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Got the world's best surf right here in my backyard, and my daughter, she says to me, she goes, Dad, I'm really missing this whole traveling thing. And I go, yeah, but there's so many things that are happening. I go, but I made it a priority. I'm like, you know what? We're not going to leave Indonesia right now. But now she's a surfer. I'm like, we're going to go explore. And I said, once a month, we're going to go on a surf trip. And it's going to be a daddy-daughter experience that we'll never forget. And we went to Jilan and to Nias and Sumatra and Sumbawa. And now it's kind of on a lockdown right now. We got some more trips. But it's more than just the surf. It's never about that. It's about that bonding experience and that moment that you'll never get back. My daughter's 14 right now, and, in a few years, if she wants to leave the house and go do her own thing, I'll never get these years back. So I want you to really, tonight, today, wherever you are, if you're in the USA and stuff, it's night, and it's one of the most magical days. It's August 8th, 08. 808 is our favorite number, and there's many meanings behind that. I'm not going to share it all. But my point behind this is that time you're picking up your phone to go look at a message, or you get a ding from Instagram or Facebook and you get a comment, think twice about picking that up. Put your phone away and just be with your loved ones and have those meaningful conversations, because Netflix doesn't count. Watching the sporting game doesn't count. Yes, you're in the same room, but are you really with your loved ones? And if you start doing this, you'll have a bond much greater than just a surface level being buddies with your, with your spouse or your kids. It's really deep, and I wanted to share that with you because I got some messages yesterday, because that was one of the things, and talking about the depression that we're having right now. People are stuck inside of their houses, and there's going to be another lockdown. There will be more lockdowns, and there'll be more lockdowns next year. We're not out of this. It's still just getting started. But if you're going to be in the same house and be in the same environment, why don't you have the best relationship that you possibly can? And it's going to take work. So that's my message for you today, from Uluwatu, Bali, Indonesia. I love you all, and these are my two loved ones. This is about a 3-year-old coffee mug, and as the saying is, breathe it all in, love it all out. Cheers, and as always, be unstoppable.